it's your girl Dominique from Namaste and Crochet. I'm so excited for today's video. Today we are going to go over how to make the statement cable section on the wing sweater pattern. So if you are a crocheter who follows me and you are excited to make this pattern but you don't know how to knit, this is dedicated to you. Let me be the first to tell you that I am not a knitter. There are about 1 billion videos that you can go to right now that will show you a better way to hold your hands, better techniques, all of it. So please go do more research if you feel like it. But today I'm just going to be showing you exactly what I did to create this knitted cable. This is my only knit trick, so if I can do it, you can do it. We're going to be using 3 double-sided 12mm knitting needles, and then I'll be using the same yarn that I used to make the pattern, which is loops and threads, wool-like chunky yarn, which is actually a bulky weight. So these are our materials, and let's get going. Okay, so we are going to cast on 20, which means we will need 20 little loops along our needle. So I'm just going to make a slip stitch or a slip knot, put it on the needle, and then I'm going to continue to make little slip knots. So I'm just going to twist the yarn and put it onto the needle just like that. I'm going to make 20 of these. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay, we're ready to start knitting. I'm gonna grab another needle. And the first row is a knit row, meaning we're going to be pointing the needle, we're going to be crossing the needle to the back of the front needle. I'm just going to wrap the yarn around the behind needle and then pull through, and then we're going to take it off of the first needle. So again, we put the needle to the back, we wrap the yarn around, and then we're going to pull it off the first needle and onto the second needle. First row done, and now we're going to do a purl row. And purls are these little knobby guys that end up forming. On this side of things, it's going to look like a nice, like flat braided type of texture, like with little V's. And then on this side, you're gonna get these little loops that make little knobbies. So any direction that you point your needle in is going to be where the knobbies go. So if for any reason you end up with one of these little guys on this side, it might just be because you pointed the needle in the wrong direction. So because we want the pearls to face this way now, we're going to point our needle to the front instead of to the back. So we're going to put our needle to the front, wrap the yarn around, and then push the new loop through and off the working needle. Our second row done. As you can see, we have 1 and 2 little loops going on in the back there. So now we're on our third row. I'm going to flip our needle to the front. This is starting to look like a nice smooth knitted pattern. And we're just going to keep going in that same way, making sure that all of the pearls are facing one direction and all the knits are facing one direction. So now we're going to point our needle toward the back and do a knit row. Continue this pattern. Now we're going to be pointing our needle toward the front because the pearls are facing toward the front. So we'll do another purl row. So we're just going to keep along with this pattern until we have 14 rows of knits and purls. So when we get to the 14th row, we'll check back in. Okay, so we have come to our 15th row, which is our cable row. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to cross 9 of these stitches to the other side of these stitches, which is going to create that twisted effect. So what we're going to do first is knit our first stitch. We're going to leave that alone for a second. And then we're going to slip 9 stitches onto our third needle. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 stitches. And then we're just going to hold these to the back and just ignore them for a second. And we're going to come back to our working needles. And just like normal, we're going to knit 9 stitches. This one got a little funky. There we go. And 9. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, perfect. And then we have this last little stitch that we're going to hold to the back here. And we're just going to take these first stitches that we ignored and we're going to push them to the front of our extra double pointed needle. And I'm just going to knit these stitches now. Okay, got those all knitted. Drop that extra needle, and then I'm just going to finish off the row by knitting that last stitch. So here we are. We've got this twist happening, and it might feel kind of funny, it might look kind of funny, it might not make perfect sense right at the beginning. But once we keep knitting and purling, it'll kind of lay flat and you'll begin to see that really nice braided effect. So we're going to keep knitting, and now we're on a purl row because the purl stitches are facing us. So I'm going to put my needle toward the front and just do a normal purl row. Okay, as you can start to see, starting to lay down flat. We've got that really pretty crossing happening. We're just going to keep knitting and purling. Continue to make our purl and knit rows just as we've been doing until we reach our 15th row. Okay, so we've made it to our next cable row. I'm doing a size small for this pattern, but if you're following along the pattern, it's going to be a different number of rows between each cable depending on which size you're making, so just be sure to check in with the pattern. For the size small, this is our next cable row, so we're going to take it slow again. I'm just going to show you step by step what to do. Okay, so we are going to purl our first stitch, and then we're going to slip 9 stitches onto our extra needle. Okay, and then again, we're just going to leave those in the back and ignore them for now. And then we're going to continue to purl onto our working needles. Okay, and then we're going to leave this last stitch on our working needle, and then we're just going to slide these stitches in the back toward the front, and we're going to stitch these guys next. Okay, and then we're just going to do our last little stitch to complete our second cable. And as you can see, we're starting to get that really beautiful twisted effect already with this pattern. And from here, we're just going to continue to knit and purl like normal. So this cable row happens every, I believe 15 rows for the extra small, and then goes up a little bit in rows per size that you're doing. So again, just be sure to follow the pattern, but you're just gonna wanna like make sure to count in between each cable and make sure that you have the same correct number of rows between each one. Okay, and here we are. We've completed 2 cables. It's looking beautiful. The pattern will explain then how to crochet along these edges and into this space to make the rest of the pattern. There are lots of helpful pictures, so don't worry about that. And yeah, that's how you do the statement knitted cable. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you feel ready and confident to make the wing sweater. I cannot wait to see what you guys do with this pattern. Please be sure to subscribe to this channel. I will be releasing tons more videos to come. Feel free to connect with me on Instagram. You can slide into my DMs or email me. The pattern is available on namasteandcrochet.com, which is listed below. And happy stitching. Can't wait to see what you guys do.